I asked all my content creator friends their football hot take, and today in this video, I'll be brutally rating them. I'll be saying whether they're good or trash. I've got over 40, so I have to split this video into two parts. So there's going to be 20, I think, here and 20 in the next video. But without further ado, let's get into the video. And if you are new here, make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't already. We're so close to 20k subs. Like the video if you enjoyed, share it to some friends, and let me know in the comment section what you think about these hot takes. We're starting off with my guy Chunkz. Now, he's not an out-and-out football content creator, but he loves his football, and let's listen to his take.
Yes, it's Chunkz here. My hot take is going to be that Sunderland finish in the top half. So 10 to number 1. I feel like they started off so well and are only going to improve on it. Maybe they're going to have a bit difficulties with 9 of their players going to AFCON, but I still think that they have enough to get into that top 10. That is my hot take.
Oh, that is a hot take indeed, and I actually don't think it's ridiculous to say that. Like Chunkz said, Sunderland have started off the season extremely well, beating the likes of Chelsea. We're going to, I think, be in and around. I'm not going to say they're going to push for the title yet, Chelsea, but I think they'll get top 4 pretty comfortably. They've looked really, really sharp this season. Having said that, though, they've just come off a loss against Fulham, who I think are 15th as of recording, so maybe that brought a little bit of bad luck, that football hot take. But I do think this is a potential good take. Looking at the table now, right? From 4th to 11th, there's only 3 points in it. So things are going to keep fluctuating. So Sunderland are going to have to compete against Villa, Palace, Brighton, Bournemouth, Tottenham, Man United, Liverpool, potentially even a Brentford or a Newcastle if they regain points. So it's going to be very hard for Sunderland. And like Chunkz said, 9 players going to AFCON. Oh my days, that is a lot. That is crazy. So in that period around December, January time, that's where it's going to sort of put Sunderland to the test. Maybe they'll make a few signings in January if they can keep on to their top players, which I don't think are really at risk to leave. They can easily finish top 10. However, I don't think they'll be too high. I think they'll be in and around 9th, 10th if they finish top 10. But I'm going to give that a valid take from Chunkz. Moving on now to Mr. Rory Talks Football. Big Arsenal fan, of course. Let's listen to what he has to say.
All right, my hot take is Juventus would be a bottom half team in the Premier League. You happy with that?
No.
You like that?
Not really.
React to that.
Oh, well, Mr. Rory. Unfortunately, I can't really dispute that much. Unfortunately, right now, as a Juventus fan, it's not been the start of the season that we would have hoped. We are currently 5th as of recording. It's not been a strong start, and I do agree that the Premier League, the quality of the Premier League is a lot higher than the quality of the Serie A. So naturally, I don't think we'd be top 4. Top 10 is like, I think we could get into that top 10 range. I think we could potentially finish 10th, 9th if we're pushing it. But even then, some of these teams in the Premier League have been really good this season, and we've looked quite shaky. So I don't. The thing is, man, in my head, I'm thinking we're Juventus. This is an incredibly ridiculous take, but it's actually not. It's actually I understand what he's saying. I like, as bad as it sounds, and as much as I don't want to agree with it, I kind of get where Rory's coming from, and he's obviously trying to annoy me. I know his tactic. Nah, I'm going to be positive. Why not? We'll finish top 10. Rory, trash take, mate. No chance. I got to back the team, man. I got to back my team. So, Rory, no. Moving on now to Mr. Brad's Manchester City fan.
Are you ready, bro? Yeah? Are you ready, yeah? So, my prompt is, if Kevin De Bruyne played for Real Madrid his whole career, he would have 2 Ballon d'Ors and would be the undisputed GOAT midfielder. Yeah? They don't want to hear that, though. They don't want to hear that.
Well, 2 things are certain in life. Brad's defending Kevin De Bruyne, and Mr. Kevin De Bruyne getting a ridiculous amount of assists in his prime. Okay, look. I kind of understand where he's coming from, because I think KDB is one of the greatest midfielders of all time. I got him just outside table 1, like 6th, 7th all time. I think he's just about there. I think he's incredible. Or at least that I've seen, right? Out of the ones I've seen, I got him like 6th, 7th, sort of from 2000 onwards, right? But to say he would have 2 Ballon d'Ors if he played at Madrid his whole career, bro, we're talking like he would have played there throughout the whole 2010s and the 2020s, meaning he would have out Ballon d'Ored Cristiano in the 2010s, no chance. Would he have gotten the Ballon d'Or over Modric in 2018? I think that season, maybe if you're talking about club accolades, De Bruyne was more important than Modric. Potentially could make that case, but then you look at what Modric did with Croatia, can't really see that. 2020s, Madrid players that won it, obviously, we had Benzema in 22, Vinny and Jude fighting it for it in 24. I don't even know if De Bruyne would have had 1 Ballon d'Or. Potentially 1. 2, I think, is pushing it. Would he be the undisputed GOAT midfielder? No. I don't think so, because you have to also consider national team accolades. And Modric, he didn't win anything with Croatia, but he dragged them far. Xavi and Iniesta won a World Cup, won 2 Euros. Zidane, ultimate big game player, won a Euros, won a World Cup. Pirlo won a World Cup. It's like, for me, when you talk about all-time midfielders, the all-timers did it for club and country. KDB did massively disappointed in a golden era for Belgium. So I think De Bruyne is an incredible midfielder, but I'm going to have to give it trash. Sorry, Mr. Brads. Now we got a Juventus fratello, Mr. Giuseppe, Gigia Juve.
Ciao Luca, my hot take is regarding Italy qualifying games to go to the World Cup. I would absolutely not call up Federico Chiesa. Absolutely not. No chance. And I hope that Gattuso, that is a man of value, a man of principle, agrees with me. No Federico Chiesa. If you refuse 1 time, 2 times, 3 times to help Italy, to me, if you have zero excuse, like he has zero excuses to refuse it, I prefer to not qualify than going against my values.
That is a bold take. That might be the hottest take we've had so far. Giuseppe says no to Federico Chiesa in the hopes of our nation, Italia, to qualify for the World Cup. Wow, that is bold. That is very, very bold. Personally, I don't agree. At the end of that, he said he'd rather not qualify for the World Cup than go against his values. And I understand if that's his prerogative. I kind of get where he stands. Look, am I happy with Federico Chiesa? No. Do I like the fact that he completely refused to play for the national team? No. I think it's disrespectful. I actually agree with Giuseppe. But he's our best attacker still. Or wide player for sure. He's one of those players that can still unlock a game. He's one of those players that can still take us over the line and take us to North America in 2026. And I need to go there. We need to go there, bro. If we don't qualify for the World Cup, it will literally be a national disaster. Bro, it will be the biggest violation in European football history. National team football history. So I understand the disrespect thing. I understand where Giuseppe's coming from. But for me personally, Federico Chiesa, he has to come. He has to come to the qualifiers. We need him. He'll give us a much better chance. I'm looking at the players like Politano, who is there, Orsolini, these kind of wingers. Zaccagni, bro, these guys are meaty. I'll be honest. I'll bring back Chiesa and Berardi. How about that? So Giuseppe, unfortunately, I don't agree with your take. I'm going to say trash, but I understand the logic in which you're thinking. Moving on now, another City fan, Mr. Boovy. Got his own podcast, The Club. Good podcast. Let's listen though.
Hello, Luca. Well done with the channel. Well done with all the content you're making. Where are Juve in the table at the moment, mate? I don't really follow Serie A, just wondering. My hot take, the Manchester City treble is better than the Man United treble. More points in the Premier League. An FA Cup win against Manchester United, more iconic. 4-0 against Real Madrid at the Etihad. The greatest single performance from an English club in knockout football history in the Champions League from an English club. Unbelievable. I think it would outplay the treble winners. More iconic players. Rodri would get into that 99 side, in my honest opinion. And you think about Manchester United in 1999, an unbelievable team, the first to do it. But they got a little bit lucky in the league, a little bit lucky in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Man City absolutely dominated Inter Milan. So for me, the standard of the treble win between Manchester City and Man United, it leans slightly towards Man City. That's my hot take.
Okay, that is a very hot take. Do I agree? Look, I do think that the City team is better than the United team. I believe that football's developed a lot since 1999 to 2023, and that Manchester City team is one of the most dominant teams I've seen. So if they were to play a one-off game, I don't think it's crazy to say that the treble-winning City would beat treble-winning United. Do I think it's more iconic though? No. Simply because the Man United team were the first team to do it in English history. Like Boovy said, they weren't even the best team really in Europe at that time. They did get fortunate against Bayern in the final with the last-minute equaliser and winner. They got fortunate against Juventus. To turn it around, yes, but Del Piero was our best player, torn ACL. I think those two teams were arguably better on paper. However, United did it at the end of the day. They won it in iconic fashion. Just like he said, yes, they were lucky in the final, but that's one of the most iconic Champions League finals that every football fan really remembers. I wasn't even alive, but still, it's one of those that I consider to be one of the very best. I do agree that there will definitely be quite a few City players that can get into that team. The likes of, I think Haaland up top would get in, De Bruyne, Rodri. I don't think it's more iconic. For me, the treble of City was almost building over time with all the money being spent, with the team that Guardiola was creating. I think it was almost inevitable. For me, that Man United treble sort of came out of nowhere. So I think it is better and more iconic. And a lot of those guys in 99 came from the academy, the class of 92, homegrown. And I'm not using that as a dig at City for spending money bringing these guys abroad. But I just think it makes United's even sweeter. So for me, I don't agree with... I partially agree with what he's saying because I do think the City team would probably beat them in a one-off game, but I don't think it's more iconic. So I'm sort of 50-50 with what he said because some things I do agree with, some things I don't. But overall, Boovy, I disagree, my friend. Moving on now, we got the goal front three. So let's listen to all the guys and their football hot takes. I'm starting off with Mr. Jules, Real Madrid fan.
Yo, Luca, what's good? So, my hot take is that the Premier League isn't the best league in the world, right? It's got the PR, it's got the money. But if we're looking at technical ability, I think La Liga and Serie A are above them by a mile. And I'd even go as far to say that the Bundesliga is actually technical ability about the same level or if not a bit better. But yeah, that's just me.
Okay, I do agree that the Premier League has a lot of PR. It's definitely the best league in the world because of the money and the TV rights and the stature of clubs and their spending ability, 100%, right? But the Serie A once was that in the 90s, the 80s, the early 2000s. So it's sort of football moves in cycles, right? However, I agree actually that Spanish football is probably more technical than the Premier League. We've seen a lot of Spanish managers, players translate their game into England, develop English football. So I agree with that. I don't think Italian football is more technical. I think it may be more tactical. Defensively more, let's say, developed. I don't think it's more technical than the Premier League. And the Bundesliga I don't agree with. I think there's a few players in each of those leagues that are ridiculously technical and could easily fit into the Premier League. But overall, I don't agree with Jules. I kind of get what he's getting at, but I don't agree. So I'm going to say trash. Apologies, man. Next front three member, we got Mr. Juwon.
Yes, bro. I don't know if you can hear me, but my hot take is Yaya Toure is top 3 Premier League midfielders of all time.
So the audio wasn't great from Juwon, but if you didn't hear that, he said that Yaya Toure is a top 3 Premier League midfielder of all time. If you're talking about individual season peak, the best of the best, 13-14 Yaya Toure, I think, can chat to any version of any peak Premier League midfielder. But if we're talking about longevity, if we're talking about consistency, I think he's a great midfielder, Yaya Toure. He kind of had it all. Defensively, he was good, physically imposing. He was actually really, really good dribbler for his sort of stature and build. Great shot as well. But De Bruyne, Scholesy, Gerrard, Lampard, you can even throw in a Rodri. You could throw in David Silva, another teammate of Yaya Toure's. There's a few in there that I think are like Vieira even, Keane, you could argue. So it's one of those where it's like, do I think he's top 3? Maybe individual season peak, 13-14 Yaya Toure, but overall, no. So it depends what he's getting at. So it's 50-50, to be honest. But I'm going to go overall Premier League, combining everything. No, but I like Yaya Toure. Okay, now we got Mr. Ali, Liverpool fan. He's given loads. Look how many he's given. Let's just listen. I don't know how many I recorded.
Steven Gerrard was a better midfielder than Zinedine Zidane. On the ball, Phil Foden is better than Kylian Mbappe. Virgil van Dijk had the best prime for a footballer ever. If David Beckham wasn't good looking, he'd just be another John Joe Shelby. And I truly believe all of these I sent you, bro. I'm not lying. People need to wake up. That's all I've got to say.
I think the only one we could sort of entertain was Phil Foden on the ball is better than Mbappe. What did you say? Gerrard is better than Zidane? Trash. We're not even talking about that. What else did he say? He said that David Beckham is just good because of his looks and he's another John Joe Shelby. Hell no, bro. Becks was incredible in his generation. As a wide midfielder, he was excellent. One of the best final ball passers the game has ever seen. And what was the last one? He said Van Dijk had the best prime for any player. He didn't even say defender. He said player. Come on, bro. I can't take you seriously if you're saying these things. Okay, we're just going to entertain the Foden and Mbappe one because the other three are trash. Foden is great technically. He's got a great left foot. He's good in tight spaces. So I understand where he's coming from. Maybe first touch as well. So as like a caged player, I think I'd rather have Foden. But then if you talk about speed on and off the ball, Mbappe has that. He's two-footed. He can play up front. He can play out wide. He's still very skillful. It's one of those where I understand the logic of Ali here, but technical ability, there's more than just like tight spaces and things. So I kind of get it, but I personally disagree. Now we got mon frère, DSK. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Luis Suarez, from 2016 onwards, was more of a liability to Barcelona than anything else. Barcelona would have won more Champions League without Luis Suarez up front.
I don't agree. Suarez is one of the best strikers of his generation, one of the best strikers of all time. I agree in the Champions League, his record is very, very poor for a player of his standard and caliber. But bro, he still won a good amount of league titles from 2016 onwards. He won 18-19. I'm pretty sure they won 16-17. No, but they did win 2. I was right. It was a 17-18 and the 18-19 league titles. Then he went on to win the league with Atletico as well. Look, in the Champions League, the reason why Barcelona didn't succeed in that period was not because of Luis Suarez. They sold Neymar. They spent badly. There was a whole wide range of issues, let's say. So I'm not going to put it down to Suarez. I know DSK doesn't like Suarez, so I think it's a personal agenda. I'm going to say trash. Where is the last front three member? Where are you, Big Yarns? Here we are.
Man, like fucking Luca, you know. Listen, this is my hot take. Elise is better than Lamine Yamal. Lamine Jamel, bruv. Unserious you. Nah, seriously. If Elise done more talking, then it wouldn't really be a conversation. But obviously, Yamal, he's got blonde hair, smiles a lot. Do you get it? It's one of them.
Okay. I think Elise is having a better season so far than Lamine, but Lamine has been injured for quite a bit of it, so we can only really take that with a pinch of salt. But I think you could make the case that Elise has been probably the best performing winger, out-and-out winger this season. He's a top 5 probably performer so far in the big 5 leagues. I'm not disputing that, but I think as a player, Lamine Yamal, for me, technical ability, what he's shown at such a young age, I think he's the best player in the world. I would take him over anyone. I don't think Elise is better overall than Lamine. Maybe, like I said, the performances this season, yeah, I would take Elise, but for me, Lamine Yamal is one of one, bro. He's unique and he's destined for greatness. I think Elise is, but not to the same extent as Lamine Yamal. We're looking at a man that's going to carry his generation and be the Messi, let's say, of these young players. So I don't agree with Jans, but I understand where he's coming from, sort of, if it's based off performances. Meh. We're going with a fashion content creator, Mr. I'm 5 foot, and he is actually 5 foot in real life, by the way.
Okay, my first football hot take is that on his day, Martin Odegaard is still the best creative playmaker in world football as of right now. My second hot take is that in terms of a technical footballing finish, the Giroud scorpion kick is the best of all time. I don't think anyone ever does that the way he did that so casually ever again. Third hot take is that I think the most satisfying goal of all time is the Papi Cisse goal against Chelsea. That goal lives rent-free in my head. Anytime anyone mentions a wonder goal, that one comes to mind.
Okay, so first of all, Martin Odegaard is not the best playmaker in the world if everyone's fit and healthy. Lamine is a better playmaker. Pedri is. If we talk about everyone on their day, Lionel Messi, he's still fake in America and he's still kicking ball. So no, I don't agree. Second one, it's subjective. It's like scorpion kick. What is it? The most aesthetic goal in football history or something he said. I hear it. You could talk about Ibra's bicycle kick. You could talk about different things. Or he said technically it's the harder. So Messi's solo run, Maradona's solo run. I think they're harder, to be honest. But the scorpion kick, I appreciate it. But I think the solo runs are tougher, personally. Messi's impossible goal against Bilbao. And the last one, Cisse is the most satisfying finish against Chelsea. Bro, that's subjective. I like that goal a lot. I also like Pavard's goal in the World Cup. I like Pogba's goal against Udinese. I like Di Maria's goal against Nantes as well. There's a lot of satisfying finishes I like, but that's subjective. But the first one is trash, Mr. I'm 5 foot. We're moving on. Also, by the way, he filmed with Odegaard, so we understand why he loves Martin so much. Next up, we got my guy Sana, up-and-coming football creator. He's a Chelsea fan, by the way. Let's go.
Yo, Luca, my football hot take is that the Arsenal Invincibles is highly overrated. Actually, let me make it even better for you. I think Chelsea's 04-05 season is better than the Invincible season. And just to give you a bit of context, obviously Chelsea conceding only 15 goals, losing only one game to a penalty by Nicolas Anelka that decided the difference between an invincible season and an unbelievable season.
That's a good one. I like that from Sana. Look, I think the Arsenal Invincibles is a great achievement. I think maybe some Arsenal fans put it on a pedestal over what it should be. I don't think it's the best or a top 3 team in English football history. I think it's actually harder to concede 15 league goals only compared to going invincible, because you can go invincible and get relegated, right? It's harder to win games than not lose, if that makes sense. Also, Chelsea did get more points. I think they got 95 compared to Arsenal's, don't know how many, I think 84, 85. So they got more points the season after. Yes, they only lost 1 game as well, like Sana said. And Arsenal, they did lose in the FA Cup, I think against, I think United. They lost to Chelsea in the Champions League and they lost to Middlesbrough in both legs in the League Cup. So they definitely did lose games. And they were playing not to lose for like the last 7-8 matches. I think they had 11 draws. So I understand where Sana's coming from. I do think conceding 15 league goals is probably tougher. And I don't think we'll see an invincible season again, because football has evolved so much. In terms of an invincible winning the league season again, football's evolved so much. Liverpool 1920 was the closest to doing it. But now teams play to win. And like even this Arsenal team, bro, if this Arsenal team goes on to win the league, it would smash the Invincibles team. So I get what Sana's saying, so I'm actually gonna give it a valid pass. Moving on, we got my Turkish Abi, Samet. Let's listen to what he says. And I wonder if it has anything to do with Kenan.
I think Kenan is the best Turkish player right now, and one day he will win Ballon d'Or. I hope.
I agree. I think Kenan is better than Arda Güler. I think they're both incredible. Çalhanoğlu as well is still in there, but it's between Arda and Kenan. I prefer Kenan. I think Kenan's probably got a bit more to his game, and I think he's shown higher heights so far compared to Arda in a worse team. I think if Kenan played for that Madrid team, we'd see him do much better than Arda Güler. Will he win a Ballon d'Or? I think he has all the capabilities to do so. I think he has bags and bags of talent. I don't think he's the most talented young player in the world, because look, man, you got Lamine Yamal, so it's going to be tough. You got Mbappe, you got some top players in there to fight for the Ballon d'Or year upon year. But I think Kenan Yildiz can definitely win one in his career. So this is a valid take. We got Mr. Amenya. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Right, my hot take is that out of every club in the world, Juventus are the greatest cheats.
Okay, we're ending it there. We're not even entertaining Mr. Amenya. He's just trying to rage bait me. He's just trying to get me rattled up. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work, man. We're moving on, and we all know the answer is Madrid. So, moving on. Trash take. Next up, we got Mr. Ish the Fish. Big Barca fan on TikTok. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Yo, so to me, this ain't really a hot take, bro, but I won't even lie to you, bro. For me, Lopez is 10 times better than Jude Bellingham, bro. Jude Bellingham is like a 9, bro. He just crashes the box and finishes, bro. For me, can shoot from outside the box, bro, inside the box, bro. Everywhere, bro. And then I'll take it even a step further, bro. This one, you know what I'm saying? This one I would say is a hotter take too, bro. Like, you know how some people claim Jude Bellingham is a box-to-box, bro? I don't think so, but to me, Jude is a great number 9, bro. So in the defensive aspect of box-to-box, wallahi, Eric Garcia.
Okay, so I agree that Jude isn't a box-to-box. He's a 10, not a 9, though. But he's a great goal-scoring midfielder, so I understand where Ish is coming from, maybe, if he thinks that. But, bro, Fermin Lopez over Jude Bellingham, trash, bro. Come on. Even, I can only expect this from the most biased of Barca fans, bro. Have a little bit of, I'm biasing you. Have a little bit of humility. Come on, Ish. Come on, man. This one is crazy, bro. Jude Bellingham is one of the best midfielders in the world, and I think he's going to go down as an all-time great. So, I can't agree. Moving on, we got a TikTok friend of mine, Mr. Sebastiano Martin. Tottenham fan. He's not going to be too happy after the game yesterday, but let's listen.
My hot take is that Jeremy Doku has the highest ceiling of any player in the Premier League right now. I think that if he puts it together and he becomes the player that I think he can be, I think he could be absolutely unplayable and dominate the Premier League in a way that not many others could.
See, Seb and I agree on a lot of things. And this one, I completely hear, bro. I love Doku. I rate Doku so much. I remember listening to Chiellini speak about him years ago, and I was thinking, wow, what he said is spot on. Doku is one of those wingers that no defender wants to face. He's fast on and off the ball. He can come on the inside, on the outside. He's got ridiculous feet. He's got a good first touch. The only thing for me that Doku really needed to improve on was his finish. And I think this season he's improved on that a lot. Look at the performance against Liverpool, for example. Doku's raised the level of his game. He reminded me a lot of a young Vinny at Madrid. And I said this on Barra Brothers, actually. And Amenya didn't agree with me. I think now he's sort of maybe seen a bit of the light. I think Doku has all the capabilities to be one of the best players in the world. And I think he could maybe be the best player in the Premier League one day. Do I think he's got the highest ceiling for any player in the league? It's hard to say because you're comparing positions. If you're just talking about pure wingers, I think maybe, yeah, I do. So I really like Seb's take. I'm going to give that a valid take. And I actually agree with him because I've been trying to prop Jeremy Doku for a long, long time. So bravo, Seb. Now we got my good friend, Mr. Matteo Polibio, fellow Juventus fan as well. The second Juventus fan that's come onto this channel in this video already. Doesn't make football content outright. Does the odd thing, but he knows ball and he loves football. So let's listen to what he says.
All right, hot take. It isn't too hard because I'm pretty sure you agree with this, but Sergio Ramos does not touch top 5 center backs or defenders of all time. Nowhere near. Top 10 maybe. Yeah, but I'll give him top 10. Top 5 though, he doesn't come close.
So Ramos is not a top 5 centre half of all time. I agree with him. Top 10, I think Ramos is top 10. I do rate Ramos, but if you've seen my videos, especially TikToks, you know that I'm not on that whole Ramos is the best defender of all time thing. I think a lot of people have that narrative, and that's why I think he's slightly overrated, because I don't think he's even top 3. Paolo Maldini, Beckenbauer, Nesta, Baresi. I think Chiellini as a pure defender is better. I think Terry in the defensive side of the game is better. I also think Thiago Silva in the defensive side of the game is better. Shirea, you can go back a bit. I think Ramos is great. I think he played in the wrong generation. I think he should have played in the generation with Baresi, Shirea, those kind of guys. But I just don't think he's... I don't know, he doesn't move me a lot. You know, he's very rash. He has the most red cards. He gets sent off in big moments. I think he needs a lot of protection around him. In the big games, like I said, against the Messis and the El Clasicos, very rash, would get sent off. He's a great leader. I think his best attributes come in the offensive side of the game. Clutch moments. He scored in 2 Champions League finals. One was offside, but whatever. You scored in 2 Champions League finals. You got a lot of goals. You also took pens in your life. So it's like, in the offensive side of the game, I get it. He's aggressive, whatever. But I don't think he's top 5 of all time. I probably think he's 6th, 7th, flirting with top 5, but not top 5 for me. So, Mattia, valid take. We're coming to the end now, and we've got my friend Alfredo, my co-host as well on my podcast, The Calcio Show. Make sure you check it out if you haven't already. But let's listen.
My hot take is that I think pound for pound, when you consider resource, league strength, coaching, players and cultural impact, England are the biggest underperformers in international football history. They have the same amount of trophies as Greece, Denmark, Czechoslovakia, and the only trophy they did win was at home, and that winning goal, we all know, did not cross the line.
Now that is an interesting one from Alfredo, and I actually do agree. I think England are probably the biggest underperformers in international football history. I'll be real. Germany, you could argue, with the amount of finals that they've lost, but England, bro, 1 World Cup, losing in 2 Euros finals back-to-backs, the heartbreak, let's say, of World Cups in recent years in Qatar, in Russia, semi-finals, quarter-finals, knockout, the golden generation in the 2000s, which I think is slightly overstated because there were national teams that were just better than England's golden generation, but on paper, those players were good, bro. So I do agree with Alfredo. I think, look, with Tuchel, they have to win the next World Cup. There's no excuses, or else it'll be an utter failure. They've definitely underperformed. So, valid take from Mr. Alfredo, I have to say. Now we got Mr. HMRC, Carell. Come to the stage, front and center. Great content, you would have seen him already. That's my guy right there. Let's listen to what he has to say, though. I'm curious. Do we have to tax him, or do we give him a tax refund? We'll see.
Yes, Luca, I'm currently in your home country of Italy, Milan to be specific, and my hot take is that if the Premier League all-time 11 was based on ability and longevity and achievement, none of the big 3 English midfielders would be in that lineup.
Ooh, if the Premier League all-time 11, right, the midfield of the Premier League all-time 11 was based off pure footballing ability, none of the big 3, so Scholesy, Gerrard and Lampard would be in there. And he's a Chelsea fan, by the way, Carell, so he loves lamps. I do hear what he's saying, because if you're going technical ability, it sort of goes back to Juwan's one, Yaya Toure, very technical. But then you could be like, yeah, but Tarat would be in there, or Ben Arthur would be in there. David Silva's a good one, bro. People are going to throw Moussa Dembele, Mesut Ozil, Kevin De Bruyne, very technically gifted. At the base, I think Rodri, extremely technical. So I think the 6 would be Rodri. I think you've got to have Ozil in there if you're going pure technique. And then maybe you would throw in a David Silva. You could, you know. You know what? He said if it's not based off longevity and accolades, pure technical ability, I actually get what Carell is saying. So I'm not going to tax him. Valid. I hear what he's saying. But obviously, it's not based off technical ability. We have one more take, and it is from my friend Mr. Marco from Italian Football TV. And he sent us a video. I asked everyone for a voice note, but he's gone overboard. And I respect that. I like that from him. So let's listen, or watch and listen to his video.
Okay, so my football hot take is that Italy should still call Verratti to the Italian national team. I know it sounds crazy. He's playing his football in Qatar. He's 33 years old. We never hear from him, but I don't care. When I watch this Italy play and the lack of creativity, the lack of fantasy, I want him in the team. Bring him in March. Let's qualify for the World Cup. Allow him to unlock the defenses that we have not been able to do. Pair him with Tonali and Barella to do the running. Bring him to the Italian national team. I might sound crazy. We call Retegui, who's playing in Saudi Arabia. Bring Verratti back to the national team. That's my hot take.
I hear Marco's hot take. Alfredo told me the same thing. And look, I've watched 0 seconds of Verratti kick a football in Qatar. So I have no idea where his physical ability is at. No idea where his technical ability is never going to go. But his level of playing is, let's say. But look, man, we got dead wood in this Italian national team. Instead of calling up 4 goalkeepers like we do every single time, why do we do that? Why not throw in a Marco Verratti? He's got experience. He's still our most technically gifted player. And like Marco said, he's going to have Tonali, Barella doing the running around him. He could sit a little bit deeper. He could be almost like the Paul Scholes in his last season at Man United for this Italian team. He's got the experience. He's got the know-how. He can take us over the line. So I actually like it. I don't know if he'd raise the level massively, but look, it's worth a try. We need to try something different to qualify. With Locatelli, I like Locatelli, but bro, like, with the current midfielders, Pessina, whoever you want to nominate, Cristante, these guys, for me, they're not going to solidify that. I think Verratti could be a little joker card, let's say. So I'm going to say valid. That is that for this video. They're all the hot takes. I've got about 20 plus more, which I'll include in the next video, and I'm still waiting on a few guys. You're probably wondering, where are the SDS boys? I'm waiting on a few. But next video, they should all be there, for anyone wondering. But yeah, comment below what you thought about these hot takes. Let me know in the comments your football hot takes as well, because I will be reacting to the fans' at some point. Like the video, share it with some friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you check out all the guys included in this video, and peace out.